Today I'm going to show you how to make absolutely beautiful, professional looking CNC signs using BobsCNC's free Basic Cam and Basic Cinder software. I have a full tutorial video on learning Basic Cam and Basic Cinder. If you haven't seen that one, go check it out as well. But for today, let me show you some tips and cool websites to help create more professional looking signs. First thing is go out and check out Etsy. You can see signs out there that are selling and get really cool looking sign ideas. We're not copying, ideas. First one I'd say is go out there and look at Savannah Lane Designs. They have got tons of silhouettes out here of all kinds of great things that I probably think would sell really good in a booth or a family member would like to have. Again, we're getting inspiration from these. So look out here, find something you like, and then make your own sign. Just pages and pages of really cool looking fonts and stuff like that. I'm going to show you how to try to find a font. We'll try to get it really close. I might not be able to get the exact one, but I'll show you a little trick if you like those fonts, how you can make your own sign, how to get a really cool looking font. I saw some things, the Farm Fresh, the coffee, those are all great things. I think they would sell really well. Let's do a Farm Fresh. Search for Farm Fresh, and let's just scroll through here, see if there's any signs that we like. They all look really cool, actually. Down here, let's go to the second page. All these look really, really nice. I like this one. The Farm Fresh eggs, butter, and milk. I like those swash things. Click on that one. Okay, to get this text, I'm going to show you a little trick. Now I have to copy it, but there's a reason. I'm going to copy it. Let's throw it over here in Microsoft Paint. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to file, save as. Again, I'm not knocking off the sign. I got to show you how to get the text. There's only one way. We have to actually have the image. Save that to the desktop. I'm going to go ahead and hop on the website real quick. And if we go to whatthefont.com, check that out. I'll put a link in the description. You can click here to upload the image of a font that you've found. I'll select that image. I'll hit open. And we can then drag this over top of whatever font we want. If we wanted to do the butter and milk or whatever we could, let's put it over top of this Farm Fresh. See if we can figure out a similar font because we want to make the sign similar to that. Let that generate. And here we go. Lots of fonts similar in fashion to what we just saw. Now then, it might not have the exact one, but maybe we can find one here that's pretty similar. This one looks kind of cool. Let's select that one. See what that looks like. That's pretty cool looking. I think if I showed up and saw this at a farm, I'd say that's a Farm Fresh sign right there. You know, you can resize it and make it a little bigger over here. Now then, this is a website if you wanted to buy that font and install it in like Microsoft Word or whatever, you could buy the font. You can also go out and find this font, download it. For today, I'm just going to show you we can copy the image, and then let's go over to Inkscape. Inkscape is an absolutely free software that can convert things into SVGs or vectors. I'm going to just Control V to paste that font, and I'm going to go ahead and move it around a little bit. And the first thing we want to do is we want to turn this into a vector. It's presently not seeable by the CNC until we turn it into a vector. To do that, I'm going to select it. I'm going to go up here to Path. I'm going to select Trace Bitmap. Once it's done, I'm going to go over here and hit Update, and I'm going to hit OK. And if you're just following along, just do what I do. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Don't need that anymore. Now then, there's actually two images. We're going to move this away. One of them is a vector, one's a not. And to tell which one the vector is, let's go ahead and highlight it with our fill and stroke. If you don't see the fill and stroke on yours, go up here to the object, fill and stroke, select that one. And then you also want to do the align and distribute. Select both those, and they'll both pop up here in the panel. The one that's red is our vector. The one that's not red is not a vector. I'm going to hit delete on that one. It's now gone. Our Farm Fresh, let's go ahead and put a lock on it. Click this lock, and now you can resize it, and it won't accidentally screw it up and make it long or wide or whatever. There we go. So we have a Farm Fresh sign. Let's continue on. Let's go find an image. We need an image for our Farm Fresh sign. There's a free website out there. It's called clipartlibrary.com. Put a link in the description. Let's type in farm silhouette and see what comes up. We've got quite a few free silhouettes here we can pick from. Look at that one. I like that one. Select that one. It's almost like I had this in my mind. I'll click on it. We can hit download, and a free download right there. Farm silhouette, free image. Go ahead and hit show in folder, and there's our image. Let's go ahead and bring that in. I will go back to Inkscape. Let's do File, Open, and let's go to Downloads. Select our image, hit OK. It'll open up in another Inkscape. That's fine. I wanted it over here. I'm just going to copy it. Now we'll paste it over here. Now it's all in one. Cool. Again, this is now just an image. It's not a vector. Again, the CNC can't see it. To do that, go up here to path. We'll go to trace bitmap, and then we'll hit update and hit OK. And then now we have two images. If I move it, you'll see it. Move it over here. I don't know which one the vector is. I'll just go ahead and apply some color to it. That's the vector. We'll delete the one that's not red. Hit delete. And now we have Farm Fresh. We can squeeze it down. Doesn't resize it. It keeps the right size. There we go. Looking good there. Let's come up with, let's go back to our image real quick of what our Farm Fresh looks like. I like the swash. Might have to Google swashes if we wanted that. I like the idea of eggs, butter, and milk. Let's go back to what the font. See if I can go back and see if I can get an eggs, butter, and milk option here. I do like the font they use there. I don't know what's out there. Let's see what we can find. Put this over butter. See if we can find anything on butter. Go. Give it a second. Any fancy text here that we like? Again, something that the 90-degree V-bit could cut. That was kind of cool. I like that. Let's go with that one. Do a standard size here. 137. I'll copy that one. See if we can just paste it here. We can. Go ahead and take this milk, and we need to go ahead and do the same thing. Turn it into a vector. Path. Trace bitmap. Hit update. Hit OK. Move this out of the way. Give it a little color. Delete the one that's not colored. Our milk is now ready to go. Put it over here. It's already got a lock on it. Let's squeeze it down. Butter. I like that. That's cool looking. Copy that one. Hit paste. And path. Trace bitmap. OK. And give one color. That one is the one we delete. We've got a butter. Go ahead and squeeze that down. And do it one more time here. Do eggs. Pull this over. Path. Trace bitmap. Hit update or hit OK, either one. Close that. Move it out of the way. Give it color. Delete those eggs. And there we go. I'm holding down the control. Let's zoom in. Our eggs, butter, and milk. Could shrink these down more. Now there is a way to align all these things. We'll do that here in a second, but I just wanted to try to get it all on the sign the best we can here. We do have heights up here. Heights and width. So we change this from millimeters to inches. I like to work in inches so I can have an idea. Width is 8, height is 1. Make that, we'll make that 12 inches, and then we'll base everything else off that. Our height on this one is, let's make it 1 inches exactly. Perfect. This one, we'll make it 1 inches exactly. Will all be the same then. And make this 1 inches. There we go. Now then, to align these, select all of them. And then if I click on this one right here, perfectly aligns them. That's a good way to do that. And then our Farm Fresh sign and our picture here, let's align with this option right here. There we go. That's nice and centered. And maybe we come up with some quick dots. Let's come up with a dot really quick. Make this a little fancier. We'll just do period. Copy that. For a picture, I'll paste that. Organic dot. Path. Trace bitmap. I'm going to hit OK. Move this one out of the way. Give it color. That's the one we want to delete. I'm going to copy paste. Copy paste. Move this over here. Just delete these because we've already got the dot figured out here. That's what we want. Maybe right there. How about a copy paste? Give him a dot. Looks good. Highlight all those. We can align again. Boom. Perfectly centered. Make a quick little line here. And then let's make a quick box around this. Gonna go ahead and align those real quick. Align, those are all nice and aligned. I'm gonna go ahead and group them. I'm just gonna highlight them all, right click and click on group. Now they're all one. Now I wanna highlight everything. I can hit Control A, or I can just highlight it all. I'll click this button. There we go. It's now all highlighted. All right, now that I've got everything highlighted here, I'm gonna hold down Control Shift R, and that will now tell the CNC everything that's in this area that we want. So you need to do that. And now the next thing we need to do is just highlight all of this on the center here. And I'm going to right click, I'm going to click group. I'll group everything in the center. And then we've got our line on the outside. So let's hit Control A, or you can just select it all either way. And then let's align these, straighten it up, and then center it. And boom, perfectly centered. So that's a quick way to align all of this. Go ahead and save it. Go up here to File, Save As. Save it on the desktop, that's fine. We'll name it Farm Fresh and hit Save. Go ahead and minimize this. Let's open up Basic Cam. The very first thing we need to do every time we start up this software is to make sure that we select our CNC. To do that, we'll click on Settings, and you'll see a drop-down bar here at the top. And if we select it, we can now pick from any of BobsCNC's. The very first one being the E-Series CNC router. It was the very first CNC that was created with the company. The E3 and the E4. If you've bought a CNC recently, it would likely be the Evolution series, the 3, 4, and 5. And if you bought one of Bob's larger CNCs, the KL series, you can choose it from here. We also have the rotary axis CNC. This is called the Revolution, and you can carve 3D objects with that one. There's also one other option. That one is Other. If you don't have a BobsCNC, Bob welcomes everyone, and just go ahead and plug in the dimensions of your bed, and you'll be able to use this software as well for free. I have an Evolution 4, so let's go ahead to the Evolution series and select that one, and I'll select Evolution 4. The software automatically knows the dimensions of my bed, so I don't need to plug in anything else. All I need to do is click Save. Go to File, go to Open Drawings File, SVG, select that. The Farm Fresh here, select that, and there we go. We have our sign. Now you'll notice that the grid down here is really tiny, so that means our sign is ginormous. Let's resize that. Let's go up here and check the box here, Farm Fresh. I'll click on the ruler, select it. Make this about 12 inches or so, hit apply, and now we're within our grid. All right, there's two things left that we need to do. We need to go ahead and specify the size of the board we're going to be carving out the sign on. And to do that, let's go up here to the project width of Y. And when I measured my board vertically going up and down, it measured to 13.5 inches. And then for the project length of X, again going horizontally, that measured to be 18.5 inches. When I hit enter, we'll see a blue highlighted line. That's just showing us our board. All right, now that we have a blue highlighted area, I'm going to call it our virtual board because it's going to be the size of our real board later when we cut it on the CNC. We notice that the actual sign fits within our board, which is great, but you'll notice that on the Y, it's right on the edge, as well as the X. It's right on the edge of that board if we're going to cut it. It would be better if we went ahead and centered this whole thing within our blue board. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's super simple. Let's go over here to the ruler. I'm going to select that option. And then I'm going to go up here and check the Farm Fresh SVG. I'll select that. And now that everything's selected, I'll just go ahead and click anywhere within the red. I'll select that. Let's go to Position. And then our X-axis is 18.5. So 18.5, half of that is 9.25. Let's make that 0.25. And then our Y going up and down, that is 13.5, and half of that is 6.75. So let's go ahead and put that in, 6.75. And then I'll hit apply. And now our sign is perfectly centered within our virtual board. All right, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and set up some tool paths. The very first one is I'm going to use a 90-degree V-bit to go ahead and carve out the lettering here, the image, as well as this lettering. Then I'm going to do a bit change. I'll switch over to my 1/8 inch end mill bit, and then I'll have it carve out the square, and that'll actually cut the sign from the board. All right, now that we have our sign center, we need to go ahead and set up our tool paths to go ahead and cut this out. I've got everything selected here, but let's unselect that, and I want to show you something kind of cool. We can go into the actual layers and select those individually. If you go down here to the RECT, it selects just the rectangle layer. So let's go ahead and create a toolpath to cut that one out first because it's a little easier here. Click on the add option, click on create a new operation. Once you do that, it's going to ask for a name. Let's go ahead and name this something like Farm Fresh Rectangle. There we go. And then click on type of cut. We've got the options of drill peck centered, drill continuous center. Then we get into the CNC options, the CNC vector no offset, meaning we're going to cut directly on that line. The CNC vector path inside, meaning we're going to cut on the inside of the line. CNC vector path outside, meaning we're going to cut on the outside of the line. And then CNC pocket means we would carve out everything that's on the inside of that line. We're going to do the CNC vector no offset, meaning we're just going to cut directly on that line. We've got some options here. We're going to be using the 1/8 inch bit. You could select a bit over here if you wanted to change that up. For the Z-safe height, we'll leave it at 0.5. That's how high it raises the bit off of the bed as it moves from like one letter to another when it moves around. That's how high it is. The cut depth per pass, we'll leave it at 0.05. That is how deep it'll go every single pass. You might have 10 passes on this or more, but it'll only go down 0.05 every time it makes that cut. Now then for the cut depth final, that's the final depth that you want the bit to go. You don't want to go any deeper than that. We're actually going to change this one. This needs to be 0.77. And the way I found that is I took my digital caliper and I measured the board, and then I wanted to go just a bit deeper into some sacrificial pieces of plywood that I've placed underneath it. For our feed rate, it's set here at 100 inches, and that's great for V carving, but I'm going to slow it down just a little bit because we're actually taking out quite a bit of material here, and it's going to do quite a few passes. So we'll put that at 60 inches. For our feed rate plunge, how fast it's going to lower that rudder bit down, we're going to go ahead and leave it at 50. That'll be fine. We need to go ahead and click on the advanced settings. I need to set up some options down here, and this is where we're going to set up our tabs. The very first one being here, the 0 start depth. That'll be fine. In regards to our tab height, this is going to be how tall our tab is that we're going to set on there, that it'll attach the board to the sign. And let's go ahead and put 0.1. Again, that's going to be how tall that tab is. Then the tab width, how wide we want that tab. Let's make that 0.3. And then tab spacing, how often do we want to put a tab? I'm going to say every 6 inches will be fine. Go ahead and hit apply and preview toolpath. Give it a second. There we go. And now we've got a toolpath over here for our Farm Fresh rectangle. Again, just cutting out this red line here. All right, now we're ready for the next toolpath. To do that, let's go up here to the Farm Fresh SVG. I'm going to uncheck it and then check everything here. Let's go down here and uncheck our rectangle now. And now you notice that everything in the center is ready to be set up with a toolpath. To do that, let's go over here and hit add. I'll click on create a new operation. And we're going to name this one Farm Fresh V-Carve. But we will notice a message up here at the top. The toolpath contains 2 open vectors and 41 close. The 2 open vectors, I'm going to believe, is this line here that I created. Again, it doesn't create like a box, so it could close the vector. It'll be fine. We'll continue on with that. Just wanted to show you that of what that meant. Let's go ahead and name this Farm Fresh V-Carve. Again, just name it something that's easy to remember whenever you're looking at them later. Click on type of cut. Let's go down to the CNC vector no offset. Again, just meaning we're going to cut directly on the line. The bit diameter, we're going to be using the 90-degree V bit. So let's go ahead and select our bit. Now that I measured the bit, and the very tippy top of that bit is 0.5. That's the widest, fattest part of it, but I'm not going to go anywhere near that depth. I'm going to stay pretty low. So 0.1 or 0.125 would be great. Again, it's just going to keep it really tight on that line. So let's go ahead and enter that again, just using the tip of that bit. Z-safe height, 0.5 is great, just how high it is off of the bed as it moves around. The cut depth per pass, again, just how deep we're going to go every single pass it goes. Let's change that. We can make it 0.05. The cut depth final, what's the final depth that you want to go. In regards to the V-bits, I've kind of played around with them. The 0.05, that one looks a little light, and if you did 0.1, it looks a little deep. So I found that just like 0.07 seems to be just kind of a good happy medium. You guys can play around with that and see what you like. Feed rate, 100 inches per minute is great for a V-bit. And then for the feed rate plunge, that's how fast we're going to lower that CNC bit down to our board. Again, half of the feed rate is a good number to start with. So let's go ahead and leave that at 50. Go ahead and click on apply and preview toolpath, and I'll select that. Now that we have two toolpaths here, we want to go ahead and generate the G codes for those, but these are two different bits. So we need to go ahead and separate those. To do that, let's go down here to this one. We'll use the Farm Fresh VCarve first, and I'll click on this option to hide the toolpath. Now when we go ahead and generate the G code, it only sees this toolpath. So let's go ahead and hit generate G code, and we can uncheck this. It doesn't matter if you have it checked, it won't matter, but I'm going to uncheck it. But let's go ahead and hit generate G code here. And then you'll notice that it's only going to be doing the rectangle, and it shows it highlighted here in red. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on save. Now then we need to go ahead and name it whatever you want. Let's name it Farm Fresh Rectangle. And then go ahead and hit save. I'm going to ask it one more time and ask where you want to save. We'll just say on the desktop. All right, now let's go back over here and let's uncheck the hidden on the VCarve. So it's now viewable, and we'll check this one to hide the toolpath of the rectangle. And then we're going to go ahead and generate just this G code. To do that, let's go up here and hit generate G code. And it's only going to highlight the red of the center now. And then go over here and hit the save option. And then let's name this one Farm Fresh VCarve. Then hit save. Going to ask again where you want to save it. We'll put on the desktop. Go ahead and hit save. And there's one last thing we need to do. Now that we've got both these G codes saved, and we'll move those over to the laptop attached to the CNC, we need to make sure that we're saving our work. And the reason is you may want to go back in here later and edit it. To do that, let's go up here to the file. Let's go to save workspace, the export.obc file, select that one. And then you can name it whatever you want. Let's name it Farm Fresh VCarve. Whatever you want. Hit save. And then I'll put it on the desktop and I'll hit save. There you go. You've got three files now, your G codes and the actual file. Let's go ahead and throw all these files over to the laptop attached to the CNC, and I'll show you how to cut it out. All right, now that I'm on my laptop attached to my CNC, let's go ahead and open up Basic Cinder. Once open, we need to go over here and select our COM. Mine is actually the COM5, and yours may not be COM5, it might be something different. Just make sure that you find one that will work for you and it connects. And if you don't see any at all, just make sure that your USB cable coming from your CNC is plugged in. Once done, go ahead and hit connect. It'll go ahead and connect to our CNC. Give it a second here. And once connected, I'm going to switch back over to our 3D view so we can go ahead and see our work surface. Now then, I need to go ahead and home all. That's the next thing we have to do because you can't use any of these controls until we home it. So let's click on home all. All right, now that we've homed, we can go ahead and open up our G code. Let's select that option. And we've got two options, our Farm Fresh Rectangle and our Farm Fresh VCarve. I want to see the rectangle first, and that's because this is the largest G code that we have in this file. Once open, we'll notice that our G code is centered, meaning it's just a little bit off of the edge here, so that's fine. And then we're going to go ahead and we need to find the 0 with our bit. To do that, let's go ahead and drive it forward, and we're going to put it right here on this bottom corner. So let's go ahead and drive it forward and lower it down. All right, now that we're actually touching our board, it's time to go ahead and set our 0. Now we have a couple options here. We could go through and hit each one of these buttons, set 0x, set 0y, and set 0z. That will set our 0, or you've got the option to set 0 all. Now then, if you're seeing a set 0A in your list, well, we need to turn that off. And to do that, go up here and you can uncheck the show a axis. Once you uncheck this button, it will no longer exist, and these buttons right here will now work. If you're using a Revolution, you'll want the A added, so make sure to add that back if you start using a Revolution with the software. But we're not today, we're using the Evolution 4, so we can go ahead and we can select this one, set 0 all, and now all of our axes are set to 0. Now that we've done that, we can also use this button, the go to 0 all. If we select that, that takes us back to our 0 that we're at now. And if we select this one, it takes us back to our home. So let's select that one, I'll show you.
And then if you want to return back to your 0 you just created, it'll now take you back there. All right, the next thing we need to do is click on check size. Before I do that, I want to quickly explain how this is going to work. We're going to go ahead and raise our router bit up, so let's hit Z+, until we can actually clear this actual hold down. All right, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and click on check size. Check size is going to show you all of the G code, and it starts from the 0 point of 0 right here where we zeroed it, and it'll go all the way down, and it'll encompass our rectangle, and then to the top of the rectangle, and then it'll come all the way back down on the edge of our board. Let's go ahead and hit check size, and I'll show you. If you have a bit stopper, now's a good time because it's not going to stop for a hold down, or put your mouse over top of the stop button here, so in case you need to stop it, you can. Again, it's at the top of the rectangle now, and now it follows the edge of the board back. Again, it's going to be cutting right here within the center of our board, but it needs to follow all of that G code to know where that is. All right, the next thing we need to do is go up here and we need to switch it back to our V-carve G code. So let's go ahead and open up the G code here. And we're going to select our Farm Fresh V-carve and hit open. Now that it's nice and centered, we're good to go ahead and turn on the router and start our cut. All right, now that we've finished carving our V-carve, let's go ahead and home the machine so I can easily do a bit change. Okay, now that that's complete, let's go ahead and push the button. We'll spin it backwards until it clicks. I'll go ahead and put the wrench on it and just go ahead and loosen this. Once loosened, I can go ahead and take the bit out. All right, let's go ahead and put our 1/8 inch bit in it, and it's got a collet on here. You can find those on Amazon. I'll leave a affiliate link in the description there if you guys want to buy one of those. Stick that in there, and then push the button and tighten it back down. All right, now that we have our bit back in our router, we're going to go ahead and put this back to 0 on our board. To do that, I'm going to show you how. Now, in the last video on Basic Cam, I showed you to leave the bit in there really loose and then hit return to 0 and then lower the bit down to the board. That doesn't always work. If you had a really long bit in there, you can't do that because there's just not enough room. So today I'm going to show you, we're going to just drive it back to our 0 by watching up here with the set 0x, Y, and Z. So right now we're at 0.012, and let's just see if we can get this back on 0. There we go, we're at 0 on X. Let's go ahead and we'll turn it to 0 on Y. Really close. All right, now Y and X are back at 0. Let's go ahead and lower the bit. Now then, I can't lower it back to 0 because the bit is out a little longer. So we're just going to lower it down until we actually touch the tip of the bit. All right, now that our bit is at the surface of the board, I'm going to go ahead and hit set 0. And even though it's not at 0, we're going to reset it at 0 when I click this button. All right, now the next thing is we need to go ahead and change our G code. So go ahead and open up G code, and we're going to select our Farm Fresh rectangle and hit open. And now that we've got that open, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and we're going to raise up our router, and we can go ahead and turn on the router and hit run job.
Using a paint pen, I highlighted the lettering on the sign, and it really does a nice job of giving nice clean lettering with no mess. Now let's take a look at the final product. Hopefully you're as impressed as I am with the quality of this sign. I've reviewed a lot of CNC softwares, but BasicCam and BasicXtender may be the best free CNC softwares on the market today. Hopefully this tutorial helped you learn some new tricks when making your next sign. I'll put a link in the description of all the products used in this video if you're interested in learning more about those. I want to give a huge shout out to Bob at BobsCNC for investing his time and money in developing this software and making it absolutely free for all of us to use. If you have an idea or something you'd like to see in this software, well, please leave a comment below. Bob is welcoming any ideas that can help improve your CNC software experience. If you're interested in learning more about BasicCam and BasicXtender videos, please check out BobsCNC's website for more tutorial videos. If you guys like this tutorial video and you'd like to see more BobsCNC tutorial videos, definitely go check out my website, Woodencreationz.com. I have a whole library of free CNC videos for you guys. And to find those, go up to BobsCNC video, select that. And then down here at the very bottom, I do sell a product. It's called the Bit Stopper. If you're interested, it's an emergency stop button. You get yourself in a pickle and, well, you need to slap a button. Well, this is probably the thing you need. Hit the green button and it'll resume right where it left off. It costs about 40 bucks and I ship it pretty much same day once you guys order it. It gets to you in about 3 days. It's pretty simple. All you gotta do is plug it into the hold and the resume, and it's good to go. Everything else is all wired up, and I put some magnets on it so it's easy to hold your bits, and you can hold your wrenches, and it even sticks to metal objects. So that's called the Bit Stopper. If you're interested in one of those, I'd greatly appreciate it if you bought one. It would support the channel and help keep all this free. To help you guys, I went ahead and I got with Bob and I set up a promo code. If you don't have a CNC yet from BobsCNC, well, I made it easy. I want to give you 10 bucks off with the promo code Woodencreationz at checkout. You just got to go to Bob's website. We'll do it right now. Go up to products. We'll just pick one of the CNCs. Any of the CNCs you want to buy, you'll get 10 bucks off. We'll select this one here, and I'll go down here to add cart, and then I'll click on checkout, and here there'll be an option to enter in our promo code right there. I'll select Woodencreationz. When you hit apply, you'll save $10. Anyway, that's my thanks to you guys. Thank you guys for watching the video, and see you in the next one.